news per LeBrun. Lucas Raymond supposedly signing an $8.075 million AAV over 8 years. 10-team no trade. Immediate reaction, Z.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? They can lock him in at 8. I think that's great for them. I mean, like, he pretty much stepped right into the NHL, scored 30. I do think he's got a whole lot of room to even get better. So, I mean, you're looking at a kid who could potentially, he should be a kid that's well over a point per game, especially at his peak in the NHL. So $8 million for 8 years. I get trying to lock him in now. And like his profile, like that's a guy that like, if you wait until they're 26, 27, 28 to give them that long-term deal, it's a $10 million player potentially. So I don't have a problem with an 8x8. I mean, again, he's super fucking young. What's he, 23? Not even?
22, not even at that. He is 22.
Yeah, so I mean, he's already shown that he can score 30 goals. You're looking at a kid that can flirt with 40, 45, plus his playmaking ability. It's not like he's a like all offense guy either. Like, and he plays fucking hard. Like, I mean, anytime like a guy that's from any of the like Euro wingers who put up a ton of points early, you're always like, oh, like you have to see if they can really handle like how hard it is to play in the NHL. Like, no, he's shown that he's more than capable of like being physical, absorbing contact, dealing with contact, avoiding contact, dishing some out himself. Like he can play. So I don't have a problem with like betting on a kid like Lucas Raymond, especially when it's 8 years, 8 million, with how much some of these other guys are getting. So I don't have a problem with that at all, actually.
I only have a problem with it in the context of how
Seider's going to get.
Well, that's it, the thing, right? It's in the context of how the YzerPlan is all coming together. This is definitely higher than I expected. I also didn't think that he was going to get an 8-year deal, so that certainly plays into it. I liked him in his draft year. I've liked what I've seen. I'm not convinced he's that guy, though, right? Do you think that Lucas Raymond is a no-shit first-line winger?
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. I think that he absolutely can be. I'm not convinced he is yet.
Well, I would say he's pretty close to being there right now. On the Red Wings, he absolutely is.
I'm talking in the league, though. You know
no,
what
I know.
mean.
Yeah, and I would say he's definitely on the cusp of it. I would probably, on like a cup-winning team, yeah, he's probably on your second line right now. But like, as far as like production goes, you're still leaning on him incredibly. And he's one of your go-to guys for offense. And I mean, honestly, like I still think he is a solid two-way player as is, but that just happens to be a guy that can be a 30, 35 goal guy right now. So again, like, especially when you factor in, you're not just locking him up for what he is right now, how much better he's going to get. Cause like you said, he's only 22. Right. So like, I do think like there's a world where like he really, really pops off and he's scoring 40, 45. And at that point, yeah, he's at just scoring 40, 45 goals. You're absolutely an $8 million guy in my book anyways. But I do think that like, yeah, I would be shocked if he doesn't end up being like a surefire first line winger, just given how much, how well he's played already. Like, I mean, his first year in the league, it was insane. Like, if he wasn't playing on a team with Moritz Seider, he probably would have been right there for the Calder anyways. What did he fit in, like third or fourth in like voting that year anyways? So and then going over to Seider, he's got to be asking for 9 at least on a long-term deal.
I'm thinking mid-9s.
And he's shown that he can be a number one D-man, like two-way ability. The offense really pops. Like, it was interesting last year, like year 2 in the league, like he started playing the season. His D partner was fucking Ben Sherratt, and it went horribly. And then for whatever reason, they traded him for nothing. Then he started playing with Jake Wallman, and all of a sudden he was Mo Seider again, to the exact player that we saw in his rookie year. So I think if you're looking at, Yeah, that's exactly like it still blows my mind. That one still is.
They didn't pay to get rid of him.
It is like that is crazy. Like we talked about this at the time. There must have been other teams like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, I would have fucking whatever you wanted. Like if you're gonna pay to get rid of that guy, but whatever. But Mo Seider, I do think, has shown already that he, like, again, that's another kid. He's only going to get better. He's a right shot defenseman who puts up like offensive numbers. He can run a power play. And you see him when he is physical. Well, actually, he just always plays physical. That's just how he plays. But, like, he is a fucking beast. So, I mean, I'm sure if on a long-term deal, he's probably going to be like, the number starts at 9. And if you're Detroit, like, yeah, of course. Like, number 1 D-man for the next, like, 15 years. Yeah, lock him in. Like, what, like, if you can get him for 9.5 on an 8-year deal, I think you just do that. No questions asked. Like that should get done pretty quick. I mean, he's right.
Negotiating with Yzerman.
Well, yeah, that's the like. I'm sure whatever they land on, he's going to be. It'll get there. It's just like you're dealing with Steve Yzerman, so the whole process is going to be annoying. And I'm sure everyone just wants to get done right now. Obviously, like any of the other young players. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at Mo Seider, like I don't know how the number doesn't start at 9. What do you think the difference is if he's a left shot? I love the left shot versus right. It's my favorite. Like it's like, oh, he's a right shot. All right, well the number's up 1.5 from what he would have got if he was a left shot. It is my favorite thing in the world.
I'm waiting for the overcorrection though. Like we talk about all of these like 9-year-olds that are getting traded in the CHL. There's going to be an overcorrection where parents are like raising their kids right-handed, and there's going to be such a shortage of left-handed D that like all of a sudden the premium is going to shift, and it's like, all right, if you're a left-handed defenseman, we're giving you the bag. I just want to know what year, like over under for the year that occurs. I'm saying like 2037 is like roughly where the bell curve hits.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, I mean, we pretty much like everyone on the planet is the right shot. It was always like it was a couple. Well, not even at this point. It wasn't even a couple years ago. It was like probably 6 or 7 years ago. I remember like there was an active switch in the NHL where it's just like these right shots are kind of like disappearing. And I think it was the Hurricanes. I like looked at their D core and like their 9th D was the only right shot they had. I was like, holy shit. Or like maybe it was just Justin Falk, actually. I think about it. Maybe he was the only one at that point.
It's because they were budget shopping. They couldn't afford any right-handed defensemen.
It was great. I was like, holy, like these guys are just disappearing. Like it's nuts, but like it is just so funny to me that the right shot thing has become like it's like oh he's a right shot. Dude. Oh my god!
Seth is still in one from celebrating his birthday over the weekend. Shout out Seth Topol, by the way. But 29.8 AAV for a right-handed defenseman. I guess I can't argue with the inflation.
If he's going with a discount anyway, a hometown discount.
Now, one thing that was during your whole internet existence, do you care that his 31 goal season being for Lucas Raymond came at a 19% shooting percentage when his career has been 12?
No, I still think it's somewhere in the middle. Like I bet long term, he's probably a guy with how good his shot is when he gets it off, where he gets it off from. That sounds weird. That sounds gross. Pause. But he strikes me as like a 16, 17, 18% shooter, to be honest with you. Like we saw the same thing about like David Pastrnak pretty early. And it was like the first year that he put up 40, I want to say. And I think he actually that year shot like 19. And it was like, the last couple of years, he's been close to like 14 or whatever. And since then, he's remained right around 17, 18%. So when I look at like where Raymond's shooting from, the opportunities he gets and how good his shot is, I think he's probably a guy that rounds out right around like 16, 17% anyways. So I don't really think that should it shouldn't make his like overall like goal output year after year like diminish anything. So I still think he's, and like, I mean, I think last year he started quiet too, and then by the end of the year again he was just fucking ripping. So again, I think 8x8 for Raymond, 22 years old, showing what he's shown so far, and like how much more room there is for him to grow. I think I would sign up for an 8x8 in a heartbeat for a kid like that. I mean, he's gonna.
I mean,
like the fact that his contract ends when he's 30. Like, yeah.
If you're saying that he's David Pasternak, like, yeah, I'll give him the 8x8. I'll gladly.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown like. He's popped off more than like Pasternak did at his age, like at that age. Dude, but like, do I think he's a guy that's going to be like David Pasternak, put up 60 and 120 points? Probably not. Like he's probably maybe a notch below that. But there, I mean, there's a reason he got drafted 6th overall. And again, like 30. What you said, 31 goals his rookie year. That's ridiculous.
4th overall.
He was 4th overall. 4th overall. Seider was 6th overall. Seider was 6th overall.
I think Seider was 6 or 7. Yeah. And that was the one that people lost their minds over, like, oh my God, what a reach. And then they asked Yzerman, like, yeah, so like what made you jump up to like reach for this player? He's like, I didn't reach for him.
Well, I remember that. He was like, what?
Who told you that?
Confused by the question. He was confused by the question. He was like, I am. Guys, what did he say? We reached for him? We were thrilled. We were thrilled to get him there.
Dude, how about Pasternak too, like panicking and almost saying the wrong thing when asked what was a better party between his wedding and celebrating the gold medal?
He is the best. He, like, I'll tell you, it is so funny being in Boston where like everybody hates the Brew. Like, everybody hates us so much. And then like David Pasternak's clearly the best player. He's one of the best players on the planet. And people are like, God damn it. Fine. Yeah, no, he's cool. He is the best. He is the man. God damn it. Who pretend like Patrice Bergeron doesn't exist either.
Who's more hated, Boston or Toronto?
I think Toronto is universally like, and like people have more fun when they lose because there's no one that hates the Toronto Maple Leafs more than the entire city of Toronto, which makes it just so much more fun. And I mean, I
need them to get a second team. I need it.
I know I think that might end up being my favorite team in the NHL.
Oh, I will jump on that bandwagon so fast, dude. What we really need to come up with is like, what is the best name that you could give to the second Toronto team?
The Leafs. Just like accurately spell the name. Like, just do it correctly. Like that's it. Like just.
Or what if they just lean fully into it and get like a bunch of cannabis endorsements and they're just the Leaves and it's the green.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I am all aboard.
Isha would be beside himself. He would be cheering for a Toronto team.
Of course, he would feel sick doing it, but he would have to.
Or no. Yeah. What if they were the maple trees?
The maple tree. Or just like the fucking redwoods, just the bigger, more badass tree. The fucking, which doesn't even make sense in Toronto, but the Toronto like redwoods. Fucking the Toronto lumber.
I like this from Mateo, the Toronto blue collars. Yeah, although I don't think there's a world where they come in and what if they had a different color jersey though, and just the collar around was blue? I like that. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we could spend a whole episode on that. We're gonna move past it.